Welcome, guys. We're now spawning on the finals. We are spawning in the finals of the Zotac Cup number 6, North American Zotac Cup number 6. We're seeing ONEGatored. He's the Protoss in the top right, going up against vTgiX. He is the Zerg in the bottom left. Watching a PVZ for this finals. Best of 5, guys, and we're going to have an interesting map pool starting on Shakuras Plateau. Next game should be on Caverns, and we'll move on from there as each game happens. But so far, we're going to have a good time watching these guys, as a PVs in this map should be really solid. This map is definitely divided on either side no matter what. So you can see very economic play coming from both players, as Gatored, we've seen him play a lot in this tournament. He's done so well. He took out a lot of strong players like this is Jimmy, as well as Starlife, Complexity Starlife, or COL Steak, as he used that account for this. But let's see exactly what's been happening. We have a forward pylon, whether it's be a Nexus first or a Forge first remains to be seen. But considering the fact that we're seeing no probes moving out, we might be seeing a Nexus first from Gatored. I would definitely like to see that. That would be awesome. There's no other Chrono Boost on this Nexus though, and there it is. I was already seeing Nexus first, or just a very late Forge. Gix has not gone off and expanded quite yet. It looks like just going off in the natural expansion and poking up a little bit, try and see if there's any creep out there, and pulling back, so Gix is going to get up his spawning pool fairly safely, and without getting that first scout for Gary, he does decide to throw down the Forge as opposed to the Nexus, but right now you could easily go ahead and get the Nexus next, just a matter of whether or not he's going to lose that probe. No, he's not going to lose it. Okay. So now, spawning pool is there. We're seeing the hatchery going closer and closer to getting some more larvae out. But really, earlier on, I'm just going to go ahead and say, guys, thank you for watching Zotac Cup. It's a weekly tournament, $100 for the winner, I believe, as these guys are very strong players. We've seen a lot of awesome people, Complexity Starlife, Roots, Didero, but he's no longer any Root Gaming. I think Complexity might have grabbed Didero. He's quite an amazing player, so it's great to have that happen. Other players have been in this as well. This is Jimmy. You've got GG Work. A lot of strong players, and these guys are emerged on top into this best of 5 finals. So big props to them. Right now, we're seeing that Gatored's gone down and thrown a gateway, and there is the next cannon. If he does end up seeing a lot of wings coming in, I'll just wall off if he needs to. It's still a matter of whether it needs to or not. And oh, hey, look at that! Finally getting down this hatchery very late. Wanted that a lot earlier, but not a huge deal either way. By the way, guys, just tuning in, sorry about my bad camera movements. My right arm is in a sling. I had shoulder surgery a couple weeks ago. Consequently, my camera movements are not the best. I'm using a trackpad with my left hand. So, as not ideal as it is, I'm still persevering and casting for you guys because StarCraft 2 is awesome. Just throwing that out there. StarCraft 2 is awesome. I'm sure you're watching, you agree with me, which makes me immediately like you, and I'm happy to have you here. Casting here for GhostCrew right now. You can go to ghostcrew.com, twitter.com/theghtcrew. You can also go to my Twitter and my YouTube for VODs, updates on when I'm streaming, because I do stream on multiple accounts. Watch what you guys are doing, though. We can immediately just say we're in for a cool game. The Nexus at the natural expansion did finish before the hatchery natural expansion. That's always a bad move for Protoss. I believe Idra is one of the people that thinks that it's almost an automatic GG if your opponent gets out an expansion faster than you as a Zerg. So luckily enough, seeing Gix just go for an immediate GG and stop playing, he's going to go ahead and continue playing. Actually just cancel that extractor. He does have a roach horn on the field, and there's a lot of roaches just popping out. Might be going for a little bit of attack at the front, or just wants to have enough in case of a needing defense. He doesn't have the watchtowers. Funnily enough, one Zerg in each watchtower is generally always there. So he has 2 out here at the front, just scouting to see if there's going to be any moving out from Gatored. Looking around, we can see that he's still working on getting on his normal tech. He's just got cannons out here waiting to defend against any early roaches that are coming in, and they are going to be coming in fairly soon. A lot of guys are streaming over, but with these original 7 roaches that are out, it seems like it's going to be strict drone production after that. Very late metabolic boost happening for our Zerg friend Gix. But here he is going to attack the front and then try to press up, but there are enough cannons and 1 force field. And canceling that last cannon last second, he realizes that's not necessary at all. Wants to get that 100 or so minerals back in time, and he does manage to do so. Fast +1 attack, great move. I love seeing fast upgrades out of Protoss against the Zerg, especially especially when you can actually delay them in any respect. It makes your upgrades so much more powerful because you've already delayed them, and your armors are going to be powerful and faster in coming up, allowing you to have a really good, really good time of attack. And there you see the bad camera movements. Evo's going down now, as well as a second extractor. Probably going to see a lair coming out soon, but these queens are still working their magic of vomiting larvae onto hatcheries, which is kind of confusing and you think about the actual physics of it, but it doesn't really matter, as these guys are going to be continuing to play. And finally, we see the drone count getting higher than the probes. 37 to 32 is just having a 35. So these guys are definitely playing very solid. Looking around here, we're watching as gateways are being put down mainly by Gatored. He just has 3 there. He's working on getting out Twilight Council. We're going to be seeing either Fast Blink or DTs. We've seen Gatored use DTs on multiple occasions, even going for a DT rush against Style Life on Shattered Temple that led to a 40-minute game. It was quite a privilege to observe. Odds are we're going to be seeing a lot of Blink coming out, though. That's generally what you do against Zerg, is get a lot of Blink Stalkers and utilize them to as best of your capabilities as you possibly can. So running around here, do have this Stalkers out there, and looking like another build down at Robo. Obviously a Blink and some Immortal play. It's Ivan Colossi. This is definitely a very standard Protoss versus Zerg play, as this third base for the Zerg does get thrown down. Looking back in here, he's still making sure his infrastructure is solid. He's getting out upgrades for his roaches. You can see the +1 melee attack, or missile attack, as well as the Glial Reconstitution. So roach speed is coming out. Gix is now working on calculating how many drones he actually has. 53 is a pretty solid amount. As you can see, his distribution is more solid than that of the Protoss opponent. So he's got a little bit of a lead in terms of that income. He's also got his third getting closer and closer and closer to completion. Not a ton of creep has been spread, actually. At a very low queen count, just at 2, not spreading a single creep tumor, so he's definitely hurting in terms of his mobility at the moment. He's running around those hatches that gets once his hatchery gets done, he'll be in a much better spot. But it looks like we're going to see Gatored move out. He's about to kill off his Cybernetics core. I don't know if he's replaced that. It looks like he's actually replacing it. Somewhere over here. Up there is Gateway and all that, and back here is the Cybernetics core. Yeah, and there it is. He's now killed that, so he's able to move out easily. Yep. Whenever he wants to, but with a double Robo, he should be getting a lot of Immortals, unless he didn't go try and go for something else. But where's? Oh, it's actually. I got a second robot. Looks like he didn't. Yeah, my brain is gone. I've been casting for so long. It's been nice, but no cold caster can make it a little bit tricky to go ahead and try and continue casting for approaching like the 6 hour mark or something like that. As these guys are continuing running around, and Gix has got all of these roaches ready to go ahead and engage. He's got the control of the watchtower on the bottom and the top, so he's going to see these guys run away with that Ling, and with his very high energy sentries, this could do a lot of damage. See him retreating. Might want to spread out his roaches, try and get a really solid surround. With the Hydras on the coming out too, he's going to be able to hit this army very effectively. No Colossi means Hydras are going to destroy, doing so much damage. They do outrange the sentries. Do these Hydras have their range upgrade? They actually don't. So they actually only equal the range of the sentries. I'm waiting for that Groove Spine upgrade to go ahead and start researching. You see it's still there. Not enough gas, though, quite yet for Gix to go ahead and utilize it. But 6 Hydras is still pretty strong. But look at all these gateway units coming in. Huge amount of Stalkers. They actually do have Brilliance and help them a lot. And they're running and finally lock up a few. There's got a lot of forces getting thrown down, plus Guard and Shields for only a few unit kills. It's going to be really tough, but it's going to allow him to hit this third base really effective as he moves in. It looks like he's waiting for a surround on these guys, basically not going to hit the front. All these drones are running away, but they get stopped by that. Oh, they get stopped by that force here. That's going to be really unfortunate. They're going down. You'll see the worker count's going to be plummeting for Gix as he still burrows them. Ooh, great move. Burrowing those guys is going to help them keep them alive. I don't know how many is actually still left down there, but you can see that the count is fairly high. 8, all in basically one spot. That's saving them so much. I didn't even know that you could actually burrow those drones in that, just like that. There's a lot of forces going down, but they're not fully blocking out these units. Fungal growth on those guys. That fungal growth, or just mentioned. No, it actually was fungal. The investors are here. as these guys are continuing to press the attack. Hydras and Roaches are going to lose a lot of their lives, though. These guys are staying alive, doing a lot of damage. A few Hydras are there, but more reinforcing Roaches coming in. They have the speed, they're going to be able to catch up to these guys, but still, GiX is going to go ahead and hit these guys on the lower part, and the Blink is keeping them alive very effectively. You can see them coming around for a full-on flank from the top, and the Protoss is doing fairly solid. Changelings are trying to get thrown down there, but they got taken out, and they're seeing these, oh no, those investors got ouchers. And by ouchers, I mean killed. Alright. So, all these guys are still running around. You can see that Gatord's starter count is huge. He's really emphasizing Blink Stalkers. We need to spread them against the Infestors right now. There's a little bit of a food lead for GiX as opposed to Gatored. There are all of these Roaches coming in, but few blinking forward, sniping off an Infestor. There is the Fungal Growth going to be on those guys at the front. They will get taken out, or at least all but one. Still moving in, but their Blink's going to allow these Stalkers to really stay. There's GG from GiX. So fast game 1, and Gatord's going to go ahead and be up 1-0.